visualized like on the bottom right corner. You can see like those bulletin boards and all of those NPCs over there. Um, that area is actually an announcements area. And, we'll have like our town crier announcements, or we will also have historical and current announcements. There's even some functionality we're looking into and adding like connecting our announcements channel to the game over there. I think there's some ways we can do that, and the development team they're still figuring that out. But yeah, so it's just to sync Discord announcements up into the game is something we're looking to do that over there. And to answer another part of the question is the NPCs. Yeah, you can see we have some that are there, but actual functional NPCs is something we will be adding. It'll be kind of a surprise. We're wanting to make it. And then that green monster tail, yes, very interesting. And I don't know, do you guys see the eyes up there? There's like red glowing eyes and over there as well. So they're definitely teasers for something that we have planned for the future.
Awesome. Really excited to see that develop. It'd be really cool to have the announcements, especially. I know people love hearing from me in particular, so that'll just give them another method to see what I want to say. But the teasers on things to come is going to be really exciting. I think the castle area is going to end up being a really, really fun area in the map. The next question comes from Dusty Lanos or Dusty Alanos, depending on if that's a capital I or in a lowercase l. Is there a chance of added storylines and game plots as the game progresses? Literally can't even. That should be right up your alley.
Yeah, it definitely is. So, the short answer to that is absolutely yes. I don't know if you guys have met Jacksicles yet. I don't think he's been in an AMA, but Jacksicles is working on a lot of lore for us and working on putting together a lot of quests for us. And so this is a big priority. With that said, there are some mechanical things that we need to accomplish first. And so what we want to have is a system where your hero, when that hero participates in some kind of a quest or they complete a certain action, that they're flagged. And so what that system lets us do is create quests that a hero can only do one time, or they can only do it once every so often, or the decisions that they make in that quest, or whether they're successful or unsuccessful at doing certain things, will then impact the next step of that quest. And so that system is a little bit complex, especially when you're working on the blockchain. I think people should be really excited about this because it's another really new thing to have NFTs interact in this way. But once it's done, what it's going to do is open up chains of quests that move from one step to the next, that have varying paths that you can take, that have varying results that you can achieve. And so we're actively working on that now. Hubert, of course, you guys know he works on mechanics, so Hubert's involved in that. I've done some work and some other people in the creative department, but that's gonna be everybody in the company. It's gonna be from Solidity and blockchain. It's going to be front end dev, creative, and so that's not on the back burner. We are actively working on it. I think every day there's work getting done on it, and once that base system is in place, you're going to see a ton of these quests rolling out. So it'll be really exciting.
I'd like
That,
to just piggyback onto that also. Um, I think this is one of those areas where you do have these big landmark features, like with heroes and questing and land and PvE, PvP. Those are huge. Those are big timeline type stuff. But I think, this provides content for us to be working on for a long time. So I think once we open up this feature in particular, oh man, like there's quite a bit of work that opens up for creative and front end at that point, because we can create endless type of story quests that the user is going to interact with in different ways depending on how the mechanics go with it. So Like, I'm super excited to get that unlocked for us to then start producing content throughout, in between these really big features. Big features are awesome, but I'm really excited for this one because then that lets us to just go to town and create as much as we can. Give you guys a lot more on update days. And that's what I'm working on. That's once we get that going, there's quite a bit of stuff we can do with it. Is basically
Oh,
what I'm
and
trying to say.
small teaser, and I hope my boss Sinstar doesn't get upset with me. But one thing that we really want to do, and I think should be exciting for anybody that owns heroes, is that we want to do class specific quests where you can have a class specific sort of storyline that you go through, and that should be really really fun, and people will be able to experience those across the different heroes that they have. So hopefully I won't get smacked for sharing that too early, but that should be really really fun, and there are a ton of us who contribute in one way or another to lore, and I think everyone has a favorite class and they're excited to make something specific for that.
That's really cool. Really excited to see those changes come. It definitely has kind of a Fable feel in terms of like the decisions you make and whether you succeed or fail impact moving forward with Fable's good evil system. So I also expect to be able to kick chickens. If we're going Fable style, I need chickens to kick. And then, so the next question is actually a two-part question from the same person. Raf Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms. The tree on the map in the top right looks like it has eyes. Does this tree have a story? Also, does the hot air balloon have any lore associated with it, or can I start making up my own? Both of those, I believe, would be fielded by our main map designer, Cinnamon Bun.
Hey, that's me. Oh yeah, I just want to say about the chickens. Don't you dare kick those chickens. Especially the ones on the roadmap, because those guys they're very sensitive. They're only made out of 4 pixels, and that's not um, it's not a whole lot of room to contain their emotions. So, but yeah. So the tree guy on the map. So yeah, he's probably just really grumpy from seeing his companions get shot down all the time. But yeah, and he mostly just like, I like to think that he kind of just like watches you and judges you, what you do with your heroes and everything. But yeah, but like that kind of ties into what Kant was saying about like added storylines and the things we're working on there, because the stuff with the tree and the hot air balloon kind of tie into that in terms of like story. But I will say that it's cool that the question giver of this question does like a podcast from the hot air balloon. That's like really cool. And yeah, also yeah, as far as like making up your own lore and stuff, like I love reading fan stories and whatever headcanon you guys want is like, I don't know, that type of thing is so cool and is one of the things that makes this community like just like the best ever.
For sure. We have a lot of very creative people in our community, which is amazing to see. The turnout for our contests just keeps growing exponentially. It's really incredible. So, as Cinnamon Bun said, never shy away from creating something for yourself. But in game, I would anticipate the majority of things having some explanation at one point or another. Really excited to see that keep folding out as well. The next question comes from Nikita Trades on Discord. Will the color of the egg determine its rarity or any other stat, or will they all be randomized? Sinstar, would you care to take that on for us?
Sure. Yep. The pet details. I need to be somewhat careful with how I answer this one, just to make sure.
Give us all the info.
Yeah, I mean, there's we're in the process of developing some of these things, so there's some information that's like, okay, I can tell you some basics on how we're like things we have set in place in stone. Some of the details around it still shifts from time to time as we get closer to beta on some of these things. So, or alpha. So I would say the eggs, the egg colors themselves do like matter. It's not just a random spawn of like what you get. So if you have a blue egg, you would get a certain type of pet, and we're looking at quite a few categories of like uh, splits on stuff, like differentiating some of these pet categories. Element would be one of those columns that we set, for instance, just like water type stuff, water type pets, blue eggs, so stuff like that. And then, we do have the gold egg that you can see at the vendor. um, that's another category. We'll do different things. And then, just dropped eggs, for example. There's also, we've always had plans for like type of like metaverse type of partnership interactions. So we we have partners and we plan to partner with various other projects that kind of share similar visions and goals with us. And so there may be like another category that does a certain type of thing allowed for those. So not to get like overly confusing with like all these distinctions, because just to be quite frank, we're still like hammering down some details on some of these areas on how to categorize them, to make sure we're not like I guess basically to make sure they're all viable and they're all worth something, they're all good, and you're gonna have a special pet no matter which pet variation it comes from, or category it comes from. So there's a lot of balancing involved in that. And so like again with Huber, I see him, he's in chat there. Um, we're working with him a lot on this stuff, and there's a lot of conversations on like, all right, um, you know, going through these details, how do we make this egg always viable? It can't just be less good than this other thing, and that's that. Like it's the same version, but just less good. So that balancing trick is always one of those things that we put a lot of thought into and a lot of energy and a lot of debate back and forth on ideas and trying to make sure we're getting the best win out of every direction we approach it, rather than just being like, it's good enough. Some people are going to lose out on this egg in particular, but whatever. It's like, no, every single egg owner needs to win. And so balancing that is the part that we're still like trying to make sure it balances as best we can make it.
Real quick follow-up question on that, which we may or may not be able to answer, but I'll leave that to you. Are we anticipating that pets would have generations similar to heroes, or that they would be, here's your egg, your egg hatches into your pet?
Yeah, so I mean, some features like pets, for example, are going to have to iterate. So there will be a baseline starting position with like when we launch it, pets will be a certain thing, but it is something that we can add on utility, as for instance PvE comes out, and that might change the interaction and we might augment pets at that point. So it's really hard to say like end goal, this is exactly what pets are going to be and what they're going to do, because there's just iteration that needs to happen. So we have what the baseline is going to be, but in terms of like plotting out their whole lifespan, it's going to be hard to give you that whole elevator pitch as of now.
Fair enough. Appreciate the information. Next question comes actually from our Telegram community. Sorry, spaced. Eddie on Telegram asked, "You already have music, but what about sound effects when hovering and selecting items?" Kant, you want to chime in?
Yeah, totally. So if anybody wasn't here like pre-AMA when Sinstar was talking, we're working with a sound effects studio. They are super expert. They've worked with some really big names, and so it's really exciting to work with them. They're producing incredibly high quality stuff. You guys haven't seen any of it yet. Some of it is in preparation for things that are not yet live in the game. But we're actually working on the front end with rigging up some of what's needed for those sounds. And we have now two sound effects that we're going to be using just to test out that system. So hopefully fairly soon, when you click on the town crier, you're going to get a sound effect. And in the bank, there's the little Easter egg piggy bank with the animation, and we have a sound as well for that. So this is just to test everything out and make sure that the system we're going to put in place on the front end is working and doing what we want. And then we're going to be expanding out for a variety of things. We'd like to have just some character, especially on some of those little Easter egg moments on the map where you can click things and make things happen, but also from a quality of life standpoint, being able to click. I think one common thing I've seen is when you summon and you want to open the crystal, sometimes there's a slight delay between the time that you click the crystal and your MetaMask respawns. So having a sound effect there that's going to confirm that your click did happen. Same thing with quest completion and things. So both from a quality of life standpoint, just to let you know that we did register your click and that you're waiting on MetaMask or the blockchain, but also from a fun and a storytelling and a lore component, we want to have all kinds of sound effects, and we're hard at work on that. So coming soon.
Very nice. Real quick side note for the chat. Yikes. Next, I was going to actually just hand off to Cinnamon Bun for a moment to talk about land and the Sarandale map in general, whatever he decides to share with us.
Yeah. Well, so first off, I have to ask, do we have the images of the expanded lands posted? Let me check on Instagram real quick. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Risen. Yeah, so yeah, over in the AMA Voiceless chat, we've got some images of the expanded land that will be coming out real soon, as all the kids say these days. And yeah, so something that's like really cool that we're trying to do is that we're trying to make the land like, or the world like as big and kind of epic as possible. And like one thing that we're trying not to do is to have like lands be just kind of like a big block or something. And like we want to make the worlds, like the lands kind of exist in like regions, and we're trying to make it like a real kind of like fantasy world. So like yeah, so like in the first image, like that sword, that's in like a place that is tentatively called Fairling Forest, and then we've got this like obelisk that's near like Stefford's Lake, and we've got Darnielle Abbey, which is like this like old ruined abbey from possibly before like the city of Adeline was even established, and then we've got kind of a really cool area that I kind of didn't want to spoil too much of, but it's a shipwreck near basically like some kind of like ancient tomb, and yeah, like we're trying to kind of like split the map up almost like Lord of the Rings style, where you've got like all these different areas, and like I think that'd be really cool for land ownership, for people to have a sense of, yeah, my land plot is like near like Stefford's Lake, or it's near like the old ruined abbey and everything. It's stuff like that. So yeah, super excited about that, and that's something that we're getting out like pretty soon, because we've been working pretty hard on that for a while now. And I also want to give a big shout out to the map team in general. I've had like a ton of help from Purple Onion, who is just been like a really great map designer. She like picked up the tools very quickly, and she's designed some of the areas. Some of our new pixel artists, like Barius, who's done particularly a lot of the water assets, like the shipwreck and the rocks, also a lighthouse that you'll see, and as well as Atlas Parker, who has been doing some of the kind of like larger, more specific landmarks out on the map, like the giant sword and the ruins and the obelisk, as well as a bunch of other stuff you'll see that I don't want to spoil, but yeah, and so I believe that's basically it on what I want to say with the Sarandale map expansion. But yeah, hope you guys like it, and I can't wait to see it come out.
That's incredible. Y'all never cease to amaze. This map is absolutely gorgeous, and I know the expansions will only continue to deliver the same level of awesomeness. So the next thing that we were going to do comes from Bawit Daba Bang Bang on Discord. I assume that's a Kid Rock reference, and if it's not, I'm just old. Will Crystal Vale have its own music, or will you be reusing the current tracks? Pogo, as our composer.
Yeah, of course. Hey, everyone. I'll answer this one. So, with anything we do with DFK, quality is always the top priority. So, reusing current tracks was never really an option. We always want to provide the best experience for everyone, whether that be art or music or just the overall experience. So, during the process with Sinstar and Kant and myself, we were kind of considering different options for the music for the new expansion. We were considering maybe doing remixes of the tracks on Serendale, but in the end we decided to go all out and have completely original tracks for Crystal Vale. So it's really exciting, totally fresh music, and they'll all have a slightly different flavour to Serendale. So the soundtrack to Serendale has a kind of high fantasy, medieval-esque sound palette, whilst I'm not going to give too much away for Crystal Vale, but Crystal Vale has more of a wintry, kind of Arctic sounding, obviously reflecting the teaser art that you've seen from Crystal Vale so far. So as of now, we've had 4 complete tracks, which is super exciting. Really excited for you guys to hear it all. And we have many more plans down the line. So yeah, all fresh music for Crystal Vale.
That's
Pogo
really
dropping fresh tracks coming up, man.
that's
Pogo, there's a
Good.
request in chat for you to say my name in your accent.
Your name?
Yeah, Sachet really wants to hear it apparently.
Sure. Literally can't even. There you are. Over and out.
I think the real request in chat is just for Pogo to keep talking in general. Doesn't matter what he says. That's awesome. I absolutely love our music. So do everyone. It's easily one of the most complimented features of our game for people coming in. We see it in Discord a lot. They load the game for the first time and just immediately fall in love with the music. So really excited to see that keep going and get some more originals for Crystal Vale. For the chat, we might get you a teaser at some point. We'll see what we can do there. Maybe we can drop a little teaser of a Crystal Vale track at some point as a fun activity. Speaking of Crystal Vale and teasers, we do have a couple of teasers for Crystal Vale also. I believe Pieface was going to take this on.
Yeah, absolutely. Great segue into Crystal Vale. We've all been very hard at work with Crystal Vale. We're just so excited about it, and we've been keeping things pretty secret and pretty under wraps. But fresh off the press in Instagram. We've got some residents of Crystal Vale posted. And then along with that, we also have a zoomed in shot of a very special, very awesome area. I think I'm not gonna drop too much of a spoiler, but it's very special. And I'm super excited. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, that's just, I'm gonna let everybody speculate. I'm excited to see and read what people think of this area and also of the penguins. I would love, they're like my favorite. I want to, so they're in Instagram, they are static because they just don't like GIFs, but they're definitely animated. So we'll try to get, I don't know, either on Twitter or on Discord, get the actual GIF uploaded onto there so you can see those penguins moving because they're the best.
Awesome. So yeah, that's live on Instagram now. Like Pi said, they are stills. We will get the GIF version out at some point. We might use those just when we're sending something else out as an image attachment, or we might just go ahead and drop them. We'll see. I did just want to reiterate real quick, Pogo. There's now a request in chat for you to just narrate all of the lore in the game, so that could be on the table as well.
Sure, let's do it.
I like it. Aside from that, that kind of covers everything that we had planned to talk about. Was there anything last minute that y'all wanted to say before we bring some people on stage? And then obviously anything y'all want to add at the end is fine as well.
I think we're ready for people on stage.
All right. CJ, go ahead and kick us off since you're already here.
Oh, right on. Well, thanks, Bowman. I appreciate it. And thanks, team, for this AMA today. I think we're all really excited about that Crystal Vale Alpha. Pogo, yeah, it can't be echoed enough. That soundtrack is gold. Like, honestly, if somehow in the future we end up going full symphonic on that, I want to cut. I want to plaque. Anywho, the question I had was really regarding these drops that we've got going on right now for Crystal Vale. Is there anything else as far as, maybe a tip or trick for the community, as far as maybe some of the guys who came in won't be able to get a hero, but are really concerned that, they're going to get some FOMO on it?
I mean, I would. Can you kind of flesh out the question a little bit more? I'm trying to figure out like how to approach.
Sure. So that avalanche drop is kind of organized in 5 ways. It's super generous. But I know since that announcement was made, we've had a lot of newcomers into the community. And I've seen in the general that a lot of the times the questions get asked, so how do I get Crystal? Like, am I just completely SOL on this because all the guys who have heroes are going to get a bunch, all the whales are going to get a bunch, and I'm going to be over here holding, maybe a tiny bag. What hope is there for me at Crystal Vale? So
Yeah,
just kind of supports some encouragement for those guys.
Okay, cool. I suppose this is probably more like a tokenomics question. This, like Fox, for instance, this would be a good Fox question. Mostly what we're trying to field is like creative questions currently. I don't have a really good answer for you on that, just because that's not what my brain is thinking about right now. Oh, there's Fox. Hey.
I was summoned.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. So it's similar to Jewel in its utility, right? So I think everyone's going to want to get some to be able to use on Avalanche. How we did Jewel was basically we started out, we had very high missions with high like lockup as well, to sort of spread the opportunity around to our early investors to be sort of like Jewel providers to the community, because you need jewels to play our game. You will also need crystals to play our game there. And so it's sort of creating a decentralized viewpoint where it's like early investors can become those crystal providers, and all of you guys here as early investors essentially, who hold Jewel and who hold heroes and other things there that will qualify for some of those airdrops will become early providers of these crystals that other people will want. So on Crystal Veil will have a DEX, and it will have like pools there for trading crystals for Ethereum or for Avalanche or for Bitcoin or Jewel even. And so you guys will basically set the price. That's like the market, how it'll work there. Like the market will set the price of that. The emissions will start out higher over there, similar to how it was here, although it'll be at a scaled down rate. But the sort of like the largest rewards are for those that invest early and invest often, as with anything in life. So yeah, I mean, we have some pretty rewarding things there set up for all of you guys that are interested to hop in. And at the start, there won't be a lot of crystals that will be circulating yet. It's just like one of those things that we will reward to the stakers and to the holders of Jewel and Heroes and things like that.
Awesome. Thank you much, Fox. We're going to go back to Metez now.
Right, guys, thank you for having me again. First, a question for the creative team, and Fox, if you don't mind, I may have a question for you, but specifically for the creative team. Thank you so much for the effort you're putting into this. The game looks great as it is right now, and I'm sure that everything that will be coming will look as much more insane as it does already. But I'm wondering if you're also keeping in mind that some people are playing through mobile as well, as I've noticed that over the months, since like September or October, the game on mobile versions of things like MetaMask has slowed down significantly, probably due to the graphical updates of the game. Is this something you can maybe optimize further down the line, or you're maybe already working on?
Yeah, so like I don't actually use mobile, so I don't personally I don't have that that feedback. But yeah, I could check with him on that. In terms of like
I can answer to that actually.
Oh, hey, Raspberry.
Hi. Yeah, sorry to jump in and cut you off there, but the answer is yes, we are working on making it better on mobile. We have noticed. I test it on mobile all the time. I use it on mobile, and like it definitely heats up my phone. It goes slow. There's a lot about mobile right now that can be irritating. So we are definitely aware and working towards updating that. So yeah. Bye.
Thanks, Swirl. And hello, Fox. Did you have anything to add to that one?
Just a little thing. It's probably worth mentioning that we do have plans to make an app that will actually run natively on your phone. That will help. But it's been my experience that it's actually gotten better on mobile in terms of like we've implemented lazy loading for images and stuff for, like with adding more pages and things. And so, I mean, in some respects, it has gotten better. In others, as we add extra features, we have to stay on top of that as well.
Awesome. Metas, I hope that can help answer your question. I would also throw out there, keep in mind you can turn off, like if you're looking at My Heroes Tavern or something like that, you can turn off animations and that will greatly reduce the load that it takes. So let's go to Maliance, please.
Hi. First of all, thanks for the awesome game you guys have given us. I'm very excited on the lore front of everything happening and can't wait for that. I was wondering more so on the terms of art. Are we looking into an idea where do we know if equipment is going to show on our NFTs, like a visible change on our heroes, as well as is there going to be any sort of like idea for enchantments or visual effects as well?
Oh yeah, there's so there's quite a bit with what we're pathfinding. Some of these kind of smart contract questions. You know, we kind of get to some of these features and we have an idea for how we're delivering them, or we want to deliver them. But that is one of the things that we're planning on having kind of like, at least in our interface, kind of like an attachment. These NFTs will be basically shown in your inventory and together, like with the equipment, the weapons. as equipped with your hero. And so that's what we're setting out to do. That is a very fluid situation always, because we're having to balance between what front end can do, what back end can do, what the creatives has bandwidth to do. And so a lot of these things, like, it does take a lot of grinding through what's working, what's optimized, what needs to get touched up. And but that is basically, like, that's where we're leading to. We've done quite a bit in that direction already, and it's looking good. So we're hoping to really see some visual changes to the heroes eventually, and we're designing as such. So it's pretty exciting to see.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you, Maliance. So obviously we are a little over time. I've only got like 3 people left. If y'all are okay with staying for a few more minutes to answer these questions, Cletus Maximus would be up next.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey guys, so my question has to do with shinies. I was wondering if that will always be purely aesthetic further change, because it doesn't really add much value at the moment. I was wondering, if maybe there was a use case in the future.
I'll just jump on that. I mean, I think it's always important to know changes can come that are unanticipated, but as of now, we don't anticipate that shinies have any particular use. That's what's reflected in our documentation currently, and we try to just be sensitive once we've put something out there, that we don't just kind of change it without notice. And so, visually it's pretty cool. I think some people from a collection standpoint find value in that, but as far as mechanically, we don't have any plans to add mechanics behind shininess. I know that may be disappointing, sorry, but that is the plan.
Awesome, thank you.
I wonder, Hubert, are you able to come on stage? Because actually, I was talking to Hubert about shiny con, and there might be. I mean, there might be.
You were here too.
Hey Hubert, did you want to say anything about that? Because I know, like, we've had conversations about this subject.
Yeah, sorry. Hey guys, sorry, I'm also a little sick, so sorry if I sound off. But the thing I'll say is kind of going back to what Kant brought up previously, was like our tracking system for progress and different things. That does open up a lot of opportunities for us to have a great variety of quests that depend on various features of your heroes, and allows us to kind of move forward in like story progression wise. So I think what I've said in the past is that basically any aspect about your hero is potential open game for us to include as either a requirement or something that adds a benefit to your chances, or anything when it comes to story quests. And I would say shininess is included in that category of being something that we can pull upon and use.
And yeah, that's one of the things, like, we haven't like super delved into. It's just we've known this with the flag system, that would be an option to flag and say only shinies can do this or that or the other, but we haven't like fleshed it out enough. So yeah, I mean, that's developing. We're not sure. There's no information we can really give on that particular thing, other than it's an option and it's a consideration currently. It's just in the brainstorming phase of things.
So sounds like at this time, no. Future, who knows?
Yeah, I wouldn't plan on that type of thing, but it's just like one of those things that's like, it's a possibility. It could go either way type of thing. There's options open for us, but we will see how compelling that line of attack is.
Perfect. Thank you, Sinstar and Kant and Hubert, for chiming in on that. And then we will go to BC 500, and then Big Kahuna can close us out.
Hello.
Hi there.
Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah, good morning from Australia. My question revolves around future sort of things in the game like player versus player versus enemy. With the maps and the way in which that work, will you be able to interact with the maps in that in any way? Is there any sort of plans with you guys to make the maps more interactable in that sort of setting?
Oh, yes. Well, actually, do you want to actually Cinnamon, but I think too, both of you guys have been working with the mechanics department on this, and there is definitely plans for what you're talking about. Did you guys want to either or?
Yeah, go ahead, Cinnamon Bun.
I was just gonna say pretty simply that I guess this is like this is like definitely a Hubert thing as well. But like my team, like the map team, we've been working with the mechanics like to make to see to make something cool in that direction. We want to have the map be pretty like interactable and have it be like a core part of the game.
Yeah, I'm always so torn on, how much to share or what to share, but the short answer is yes. So I would say in a very broad sense, we shared the map images a bit earlier in the voiceless chat through Instagram. And so you can see there that as the map grows, there are going to be points of interest on the map. Shout out to Atlas, who designs a lot of those. They're really neat. I think the sword is there. There's the obelisk that you can see. There's the shipwreck. And so long term, what we want is for those areas to have something interesting associated with them. Some of that is longer term, as we have PvE coming out, as you mentioned, story quests, like I mentioned before, with the flag system. But yes, we want it to be such that you look at a region of the map, there are several points of interest there. Each of those points of interest has something that you can do, something that's interesting and unique. And that may be a direct click, or it may be a click that takes you into an interior zone, like what you're used to here in the town, that has NPCs in it. It'll probably be a mixture of those two things, but definitely. And we want the area of the map that you're working with to impact what's available to you in terms of, if you're in a certain area, you can do certain things, and then as you move to a new area, there are other quests and activities that you can do.
Very nice. Thank you, BC 500 as well. Big Kahuna, what you got for us?
Yeah, just a quick question. I know that over the course of the game, or since it started, the pixel art has kind of like changed a little bit throughout those 4 or 5 months or whatever. Like the style. I was just wondering if you're gonna ever touch the heroes themselves to see like do some updating on those, or are you gonna try to keep that style associated with the heroes? The size of the pixels are basically different between some of the map stuff and versus the heroes. That's just I was just wondering.
Yeah, there's potential. I mean, this is another subject that we've kind of opened up discussions on and brainstormed options to consider change. And so it's still kind of up in the air. Right now, there's a few things right in front of us we're putting most of our effort into, and that is one of the things that is, I wouldn't say on the back burner, because the change, if we were to do it, does need to be pretty soon. I would want it done before combat, which means it's got to kind of come pretty quickly. But it's still like it's not in the pressing matters category. So it's one of those things we're thinking on, and we're just not quite sure yet if it's a viable option, because there's a lot of change that needs to be done, not just in terms of the design itself, but with the devs. They're just going to have a bunch of work because we animate via code, we animate by hand as well. So it's like seeing how far we can push both of those options really determines if we're going to actually refresh the hero art or not. So that's one of the things we're trying to figure out.
Cool. No, thanks. That's a good answer. I was just curious on that.
Awesome. Thank you much, Big Kahuna, and thank you, Sinstar, as well. The amount of art in our game that is done by hand is just genuinely incredible. It's hours upon hours upon hours of work. So that about closes us out. I was just going to go around real quick and see if there were any closing comments. Pieface, you want to kick off closing comments for us?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I just am so grateful for the community and for everybody appreciating the art. I know it's some people are like to complain that it's like, oh, it's so low res, but it's like, no, this is art. It's gorgeous, and every pixel is thoughtfully created, and we have many artists that we have on our team. You guys are welcome to check out the org chart and our team website or website where it shares the team, and like we have dedicated people working many hours on it, and I'm just they're extremely talented, and we have a lot of things down in the pipeline that's coming up, and we're so excited for that. So yeah, thanks everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Pieface. Kant?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much, just echoing Pi. Obviously, I love how engaged our community is. Sometimes after the work day, I jump into Discord especially, and it's always a blast talking with you guys. Bloater memes for the win. Thank you, Enoch, for that. And I would say, like, our artists are super talented as well as Pogo, and especially on the new teams page, anybody who's sharing their socials or putting information out, please support them. If you love the game, make sure you support our artists and show the love. I think it's obviously super valuable when people get great feedback on their work and when they pick up followers on their socials and stuff like that. So check out the new team page if you haven't. I know a few people have their socials linked there. But thanks again, everyone.
For sure. And the team page is on the DeFiKingdoms.com site, just for anybody who's looking for it. Cinnamon Bun, anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to the community and like just how, I mean, there's like nothing more rewarding like as an artist to like make stuff and then see people like interact with it like on just like such a deep level, like such as memes and such, because that is like the deepest level of connection. Like like what I'm trying to say is it's just like everything, like the memes, like the like having like a podcast from the hot air balloon and stuff, like to all the all the little like questions about all like just all the stuff you guys find and explore. It's just like so incredible, and it's like yeah, it's just amazing, and I just want to say thank you so much. Like yeah, we all appreciate it.
Awesome. Pogo, this has all actually been an elaborate trap just to make you talk again for the crowd, but any closing comments you have?
Yeah, I can give you one better than a closing comment. A private performance from Pogo. La 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 la. Thanks very much,
Yes.
everyone.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. And that will be recorded and immortalized on our YouTube. Sinstar?
Yeah, I will have to say, like, it really is a weird reality that we live in. It's just like a dream state making this game and and then going into the Discord and seeing like Cinnamon was saying, just this interaction and uh I mean memes are not fresh anymore unless it comes from DeFi Kingdoms. Honestly, all memes are dead except for DeFi Kingdom memes to me. They're just so hilarious. So I just really like the community. I think you're a really fun group of people. And surprisingly enough, like this space can get pretty brutal. And our niche in it is something special, I feel. And I hope we can just keep that going. I hope it's just a happy place, and we can just continue on into 2022 in this same energy. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah. As everybody said, we cannot tell all of you how much we appreciate this community. Y'all are a great group of people. I've never had the privilege to be involved in such a great community. The willingness to help newcomers, the friendliness, the jokes. It's a really, really positive and great place to be. So we really appreciate you guys. To our creative department, y'all are amazing. You blow my mind constantly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this AMA and answering some community questions for us. We will be back next Monday at the same time in the same place with another AMA, potentially the mechanics department, but we will confirm that and let everybody know. Until then, appreciate y'all and have a great day.
See you next time.
Bullish.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bullish.
Bullish.
Cheers, everyone. Bullish.